This video we're going to be taking a look at Siege on Paris as the attacker. If you take a look at the map, what we're going to attempt to do is just drive a straight line right down to their critical uplink of Alpha. The red circles on the map represent barricades which will have to be knocked down by either the artillery or the tanks in order to allow armor to cross the bridge to allow you to drive straight through the middle. What a lot of teams do on this map is they'll actually go to the outer edge bridges in order to cross to the other side, and this allows the enemy to set up defenses on two routes which they could have down pretty secure by the time you work your way over there. It takes a long time to go that route. Not a lot of teams focus on mining up the middle road because of the barricades. Most teams don't realize that you can bust down the barricades, and a lot of teams just don't take the time in order to bust them down to pass through that route. But we find that it's a lot more effective to do this, and it's actually less time consuming. So he's got artillery, a command vehicle, so he can use that sit rep to either hit targets. We've got guys headed to Foxtrot and Delta. We're going to try to upgrade both of those to Force Recon and try to send in Force Recon to Alpha as a reinforcement for when we make our initial push. Before he takes down these barricades, though, because we have eyes on his artillery, we're going to go ahead and try to take out his artillery because it's just going to sit there and wound our units before they can even get into a good fight, and it can destroy our uplinks to keep us from grabbing Force Recon. When you have a 10-minute timer on this map, you don't want to panic because your time is running out, but you do want to make sure that you have a good plan in place, and you want to make sure that you're executing it as quickly as possible because time is of the essence when you're playing this map. As you see, those are the barricades. If you can kind of see them there to the right. As you see, the artillery is just sitting there pounding the barricades in order to open that part of the bridge up. And then once he opens this part of the bridge up, which he has, now my tanks can pass, he has to clear out those barricades right there. I'm going to try to help him out with my tanks. Try to work a little bit faster. Now we've got this cleared out, so now we're just going to push forward. And they realized what we were doing, so as you see, those engineers are right there and they're laying down mines. But he's trying to scramble back here to Alpha to set up a little defense right here at his critical uplink. The chopper really doesn't see a whole lot of action. The chopper is mainly there to spot. I'm going over there to spot so he can see if they have men at Alpha, and he's going to deep strike Alpha. I've also got my guys in a transport from Delta, and I'm going to also move them up here as a backup in case his guys get taken down. We're going to try to work these tanks, these transports in here to clear out all this mess that they've got around here, so it'll give us the best odds of being able to take this base. As you see, there's 3 minutes left on the timer right now, and we know that once we take the base, there's still another 3 minutes that we have to wait. So we're trying to move as quickly as possible. His guys that deep striked actually got put down, but he was able to take the base down. So here comes his NGs that were actually at Foxtrot. They're pretty bad wounded, and you know how slow they walk, but because he went on ahead after Foxtrot was put down, because Foxtrot was destroyed, he started walking them towards Alpha. And even though it takes them forever to get there, they actually got there on time for us. And then there's my number 7 guys that I brought from Delta. So we have 2 guys here. I have a slot open that I could deep strike if I wanted to, just for extra backup. and now we've got the victory clock going. Now I had Delta up to force recon, and once we took Alpha, we were able to get a second force recon. And what I did was I changed my landing zone to Alpha just to bring in some extra armor. I didn't want to have to drive that tank all the way back from their spawn because I knew that they would be coming pretty soon. What they did at this point is they just got out of their timer, so here comes all their units. You get your force recon back, the drones that were around the bases and everything. So they nuked Alpha to clear it out, but what we did was actually use the nuke to clear out all the drones that were headed towards Alpha. I had my tanks backed up a little bit because I kind of figured they would WMD Alpha. Wasn't able to get all my stuff from out of the target area, but I got some of it. But right here, the timer's already down low enough where these guys aren't going to be able to take it. It could have been a lot closer. Choosing whether or not to use the WMD as we did is, that's a personal choice. You could have used the WMD just to defend the base if you needed to. So that is our strategy for Siege on Paris.